At the court of Jerusalem, where King Solomon ruled with wisdom and justice, a young man named Baruch was seeking advice. Baruch was known throughout the city by his impetuosity, and his fast tongue always ready to express his or her opinion without considering the consequences. Concerned about his future and his reputation, decided to turn to Solomon, waiting to receive the guidance he needed so much. Solomon, famous for his patience and charisma, received Baruch with a smile and told him, "My son, I will tell you a parable that will help you understand the power of silence. In a small village on the Ye of Israel, I found a wise old man named Tobias. Tobias was respected by a whole suit to its deep sensitivity and their ability to resolve disputes. However, there was one characteristic that distinguished it above all else: its ability to remain silent and listen carefully before speaking. In the same town, a young man named Nathan, who was known for his impulsiveness and their tendency to speak without thinking. Nathan admired Tobias and wished to be as wise as he was, but I did not understand how the old man managed to maintain such calm and get so much respect. One day, Nathan decided to visit Tobias and ask him to show him the secret of his tomb. Upon arriving at the old man's house, Nathan was kindly received. Tobias invited him to sit down, and after listening to the young man's request, he told him, "I will tell you a story that contains the key you were looking for. Many years ago in this very town, a man named Mosh is known for his cunning and his ability to deceive others with his words. One day, Mosh decided to publicly challenge Tobias with the intention of discrediting him before the eyes of the people. Mosh presented himself in the town square, and a voice began to question the legitimacy of Tobias, casting complicated and twisted questions. Tobias, watching the man and the crowd gathering, remained silent, listening carefully to every word. After a long time, Mosh, be frustrated by Tobias' lack of response, began to lose control and to make mistakes in their arguments. The crowd, who was intrigued at first, began to realize the lack of substance in Mosh's words. Finally, Tobias, with a calm hand, serene voice, answered to each of Mosh's questions with clarity and precision that left everyone hanging on Mosh's, humiliated by his own impatience and mistakes, left the square, and Tobias further won the respect and admiration of the people. The lesson was clear to all. The real wisdom often is in the silence and the ability to listen. Nathan, listening carefully to Tobias' story, understood the message. Since that day, began to practice patience and think before he spoke. Over time, Nathan won the respect and admiration of his community, becoming a wise man and considered like Tobias. Solomon, concluding the parable, looked at Baruch and said, "Always remember, my son, that even the fool one, he is silent. He is countered by a wise man. He who closes his lips is understood. Curiosity is not always in what you say, but in what you decide not to say. Learn to listen, and you will find a friendship and respect. You seek the root." Deeply moved to the parable and Solomon's advice, thanked the king, and left with a new perspective on the power of silence and the importance of reflection. Since then, began to practice patience and listen attentively to her. discovering that in the silence could also find the true friendship.